Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you all are doing fine. It is now 1 o'clock and we will get started with our presentation. You know what, just so so that I can make sure everyone can hear me, if someone can just put in their chat box, yes, I can hear you, then I know that my audio is working and we'll get started. Okay. Yep. Okay, great. I got a message. You can hear me. So most of you may know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Lori Overton. I'm the founder of Overton Travel, and welcome to our inaugural Wanderlust Wednesdays. This is where we will take you to different places, different destinations every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. For the next couple of weeks, we have 6 Wednesdays already planned out to the end of May. And so if you know me, once I have this orange t-shirt on, this means that we're heading somewhere. So I'm so excited that we're heading to Thailand today. Before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. This is a webinar, so what this means is that you can see and hear me, and you'll be able to see and hear the panelists as well. But I can't hear you, and nor can I see you. I know you're here. So if you have any questions, there should be a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen or somewhere on your screen, depending on your device. Please type your questions in that Q&A box, and we will answer all of your questions at the end of the webinar. We have time set aside at the end of the webinar. We have a moderator, Donna Snyder, who will be going over your questions. Donna's probably already welcomed you in the Q&A box as well. So today we have the distinct honor and pleasure to have with us Steve Johnson-Stevenson. He is a marketing manager at the Tourism Authority for Thailand, and he's based here in New York. So without further ado, I'm going to let Steve take over and give us his presentation on Thailand. Okay.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay.
Am I going to change the screens, or are you going to?
I think you can. Can you share your screen now?
This will stop other screen sharing. Yes. So
Okay.
let me just pull up mine.
Okay. Let me stop mine.
Okay.
And then you can start yours. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lori, and good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone who is tuned in this afternoon is well and safe, and I wish the same for your families as well. These are very challenging times, but nevertheless, you know, we will get through it, and we will travel again. And one of the destinations that I hope that you will get to travel to, if you haven't traveled to already, is Thailand. Amazing Thailand. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it don't seem to be moving. I don't know what's going on here, but I cannot seem to move the screen, Lori. Let me just get out and get in again. I'm not sure why this is happening.
Yeah, maybe just start over, and then it should work.
Okay.
There you go.
So, a lot of people who haven't been to Thailand before are probably wondering, well, where is Thailand? And I just wanted to give you a view of where Thailand is and the countries that surround Thailand. So you can see that Vietnam is very close and very popular. Laos, also very interesting. Great neighbor, Cambodia, and Myanmar, which was formerly Burma, and of course Thailand in the middle. So you have a little idea of where we are. In the heart of Southeast Asia is where Thailand is located. Our capital city is Bangkok. Many of you may know this. A lot of people like to know or like to ask, well, what is the size of Thailand exactly? It's about the size of Texas, or about the size of France. And our climate, we have a lot of microclimates in Thailand, but generally we have many distinct seasons. So believe it or not, right now we're in hot season, and hot season is preceded by our summer season, and then it goes into rainy season. So basically, someone like Lori and those who are planning travel have to know where to sell when. So in our summer season, which is what we're going into right now, if you're traveling to Thailand and you wanted to go to the beaches, then you would be going into the Gulf of Thailand and to Koh Samui and Koh Phangan, which are islands in the Gulf of Thailand. If you were traveling in our winter season, then you would be traveling to the Andaman region, which would include places like Phuket and Krabi, and all these destinations I will go through later on during the presentation. Our population is about 67 million, so we're small. Our language, of course, is Thai, but English is widely spoken, and our currency fluctuates against the US dollar. So on average, it ranges between 30 and 35 Thai baht for every $1 US. A lot of people ask, are vaccinations required? Prior to all of this, we would say no. Typically, they're not, but we always suggest that you consult with your primary care physician. Visas, for those who have American passports or even Canadian passports, a no visa is required, provided that you're traveling for 30 days or less. So when you're booking your trip with Lori, you have to make sure that your passport is valid for at least 60 days. So that you're able to travel and not have any issues upon entry. A lot of people will ask, why Thailand? Why should I visit Thailand? Lori, why should I come with you to Thailand? And the first thing is probably the warmth, kindness, and hospitality that is exhibited by the Thai people. I always say that it's part of our DNA. And it's one of the first things that you will note about Thailand that makes Thailand special. And it is something I assure you that you will always remember when you think of Thailand and when you speak of Thailand, is the kindness and hospitality of the people. And that's one reason why people keep on coming back to Thailand. A lot of people also don't know that Thailand has many things. 40,000 temples. It's very easy to get templed out. Over 1,400 islands. 127 national parks, and 5 of those are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So we're very proud of that, especially today as we mark Earth Day. We're very proud of our national parks and the upkeep of them, and the fact that 5 of these national parks are declared as World Heritage Sites, are protected for future generations, and for you, of course, who will come and visit us very soon. It is always very safe and easy to get around Thailand, whether you're in Bangkok or in one of the out destinations. The tuk-tuk is very popular. A lot of people like to ride it, but we also have the SkyTrain, which is probably the easiest way to get around, free of the hassle of the traffic. We have the BTS system, which is fully air conditioned, that connects with the SkyTrain. So as you can see, very easy to get around. And of course, the long-tail boats that go up and down the Chapaya River in Bangkok and down south as well. So let me just take you on a journey so you can see some of the destinations popping up on your screen here. Many of them we will go through in a little bit, but there are many destinations within Thailand that the American traveler can take advantage of. And my job this afternoon is to share with you a little bit of insight into each of these destinations and what makes them special. We'll start with the north of Thailand, which is a beautiful area, one of my favorites. And we'll start with Chiang Mai, which is considered the Rose of the North. Now, to get to Chiang Mai, you can fly directly in from many of the Asian gateways. You can also fly in from Doha, believe it or not. And of course, if your first destination is Bangkok, which I'll go through in a little bit, you can fly north on one of our local carriers, and Lori can make those plans for you. It's about an hour's flight north of Bangkok to Chiang Mai, as I mentioned, the Rose of the North. And a beautiful area to visit, many great local experiences that you can share. One of the experiences that I love to do in Chiang Mai is to wake up very early in the morning and partake in what I call almsgiving. Almsgiving is when the monks leave their monasteries very early in the morning and they come down into the towns and the villages, and they're fed by the local community. And we as visitors have the opportunity to partake in that. And I love this image that is before you because the bowls is are what the monks put their food in. And what that tells us is that they live for today. And so the food that they collect today will sustain them today, and they don't worry about tomorrow. And the excess food, because monks don't eat a full meal after 1 in the afternoon, the excess food is always shared with the community. So it's a beautiful, very spiritual, very meaningful activity that you can take advantage of when you're there. Lori, should be sure to consider including that in your itinerary, because it's really special and very spiritual. Of course, when you go to many of the temples, you can partake and see some of the things like you know, the carving of silverware that is a very unique tradition. And of course, you can buy some of this ware to take back with you, but it's really a great attraction. The beautiful umbrellas, I always tell people, whenever you travel, try and find a piece of authentic handicraft to take back with you. And these beautiful umbrellas are hand painted by the people in Chiang Mai, and they can be taken back properly packaged with you to your respective home destinations. Of course, I love the markets. Of course, every destination in Thailand has a flower market, and the flower market in Chiang Mai is always special to go to and browse about and see the unique flowers that are available there as well. Bike riding is becoming very popular in Thailand and in Chiang Mai in particular, and that's some of the activities that you can do from a soft adventure point of view. Your hotel is always there with you behind to make sure that you have light refreshments like a fresh coconut when you take a short break. It's really nice to go bike riding from your hotel, stop at one of the local temples or one of the local coffee shops, experience the culture, experience the people, interact with the people. That's very important and very meaningful activities that you can do when you're in the north of Thailand. Of course, sightseeing by tuk-tuk, particularly into the old city of Chiang Mai, is becoming very popular and something that you may want to consider incorporating into your itinerary. We always suggest that people do things out of the ordinary when they're in Thailand, and a lot of people eat rice, but have never seen a rice plant, have never experience what it is to plant rice or to see the process of harvesting rice. And one of the activities that you can do when you're in Thailand is to grow and plant rice, see how it is harvested. So we always suggest that you consider one of these activities. Meaningful experiences is what we offer in Thailand. And of course, it's an activity that you can do either as a group or with your family as well. We have many celebrations in Thailand. In fact, we just celebrated our Thai New Year, which is on the 13th of April. And for Thai New Year, water is a very big component of that. So the splashing of water is a symbol of goodwill, good health, good fortune. And of course, the kids here are playing, they love to. So if you're in Thailand at that time, April, of course, is the hottest month of the year. Be prepared to get sprinkled or to get wet because it's very common. Of course, the Festival of Light, Yiping Festival, is a very special festival that happens in the north particularly, and happens in the last part of the year. It coincides with the lunar calendar, and it's when all these beautiful lanterns go up into the sky, released with well wishes, etc. And it's a very prominent activity that is special in the north of Thailand as well. The hill tribes, another very important component of a visit north. And we say a visit to the hill tribes is a meaningful experience, a very touching experience. We ask that anyone who's going, they don't go with picture taking in mind, but they go with a mindset that you're learning about these interesting people. There are many tribes in hill tribes in Thailand, and the Karen tribe is probably most popular, and you can learn so much about the design of their costumes, how they eat, what they grow, and how they live. And it's truly meaningful. I always say, if you go to Thailand with an open heart and an open mind, you come back feeling a little bit different as a human being. Of course, within the old part of Chiang Mai, there are many historic sites that you can visit, and I'm sure that Laurie will incorporate some of those into your itinerary, and there's such strong history behind them. And of course, Doi Suthep, which is the most visited of all temples. My personal favorite is to visit Doi Suthep either early in the morning or late in the evening, because it's free of the crowds, very peaceful, very tranquil. And I just love, it's a great opportunity for picture taking as well. If you go in time to make sure that the monks are chanting, either early in the morning or late in the evening, it also adds to the beautiful experience as well. Of course, the elephants, a great opportunity in Chiang Mai to exchange with the elephants. Exchange with the elephants in any way that you deem as appropriate for you, because it's truly, these gentle giants are truly beautiful. A lot you can learn from them, and they are very, very special and very, very calm and affectionate. And of course, anyone who's going to Thailand just loves to have an experience with the elephants. And so we encourage you to consider incorporating that into your itinerary. So we're moving along to a destination which is also in the north. It's Chiang Rai. Chiang Rai is about 4 hours driving from Chiang Mai, so it's possible to drive to Chiang Mai. And it's about an hour's flight from Bangkok as well. There are many local experiences that you can have when you're there. Of course, Chiang Rai became very popular because of the Golden Triangle, where the Mekong meets 3 countries, which is Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar along the Mekong. And there's a big history in that area along the Mekong as it relates to the opium trade. There are many activities that you can do along the Mekong River. Very interesting, many tours that you can take on the Mekong River as well. There are many tributaries that you can go up. So for example, where the water buffalo are in this picture is actually Myanmar, and where on this side, on the opposite side where the boat is actually Thailand. So you can see how very close these countries are along the Mekong River, and it really makes for great experiences. There's some beautiful resorts in the area as well. As I mentioned before, Chiang Rai became very popular through the opium trade, and there's an amazing museum, opium museum, that you can take advantage of right across the road from the Anantara, which is a very popular hotel in that area as well. There are many temples, like the Blue Temple, one of my favorite, very spiritual, and there's the White Temple as well. So they're amazing temples, and these are all functioning temples that you can visit, take pictures, and give respect to Buddha as well. So you can visit the White Temple either early in the morning or late in the afternoon. The rice paddies when you're driving up the hills, always beautiful for picture taking as well, and very spectacular. The opportunity to interact with local people and partake and understand the spices that are used in Thai cooking are also very popular, and very popular among those who are coming from the outside as well. The beautiful botanical gardens in Chiang Rai, also very popular, and definitely worth a visit if you're there. It's the Doi Tung National Park, and the beautiful species of orchids that you can find in that area are truly spectacular. And many of these orchids are endemic to Thailand, and very few places that you can get to see those other than here. So moving along to some destinations that are emerging and very interesting, not a lot of people visit, but truly special. I love, for example, Sukhothai. Sukhothai was Thailand's first capital city, and it's about 4 hours driving south of Chiang Mai. So you can fly into Sukhothai from Bangkok, which is an hour's flight. You can spend 2 days exploring there, and then you can continue on by land to Chiang Mai, just some of the options. And of course, Sukhothai is a World Heritage Site, so there's much to see and do. A lot of very interesting activities that your clients can do. The national parks, which many of our World Heritage Sites are well maintained and beautiful for at least a day in Sukhothai. Moving on to the central and eastern provinces of Thailand, where you have our capital city of Bangkok. Bangkok, of course, is our capital city, and you can access Bangkok many ways, either through the Middle East or through many parts of Asia as well. And Laurie can take advantage of making sure that you get into Thailand safely. Of course, the Grand Palace is the most visited of all attractions in Thailand. Truly spectacular, great for picture taking, and amazing other local experiences that you can have in Thailand. This is the Chapaya River, which flows through the city of Bangkok and goes down into the Gulf. And life along the Chapaya River is truly amazing. There are many hotels that are located along the Chapaya River, so you have options. Of course, the Grand Palace is set there in the old part of Bangkok, and it's great. The Temple of Dawn, which is along the Chapaya River, is beautiful, particularly early in the morning or late in the evening, and that's because of the ceramics that is placed outside of the temple that's very iridescent when the sun hits it. So it's beautiful for picture taking and to learn the history of the Temple of Dawn as well. And Wat Po, which is the reclining Buddha, which is pictured here, very, very popular. And the most interesting part, I believe, of the reclining Buddha is the feet of the Lord Buddha, because inscribed here are the 180 teachings of Buddha, all done in mother of pearl. So if you're going there, and Laurie will make sure that that's part of your itinerary, you want to make sure that you see the feet of Lord Buddha, the reclining Buddha, because it's truly very interesting. Of course, there are many different temples located on the grounds of the Grand Palace, very good for picture taking. And when you are in these temples, take some time to notice the intricate work here, because that's all hand done and all well maintained, and really makes for great picture taking opportunities as well, as you can see here, truly spectacular. 80 kilometers outside of Bangkok is many of the floating markets. This one here is truly spectacular. One of the things that I first did in 1993, I think that's telling my age, when I first visited Thailand, is I went for my first time to the floating market, and I was in awe that commerce could be done on water. And it's truly great for picture taking, truly great for purchasing of local souvenirs, and for trying some of the local Thai products as well. Definitely should be included. There are many other beautiful towns that are spread throughout the outskirts of Bangkok. And of course, the Mekling railway station on the way to the floating market is truly interesting. One of the most visited of all the attractions outside of Bangkok. And that train so many times a day comes through this fresh fruit and vegetable market. And everyone here, none of the fruit or vegetables are touched by the train, but all the people that are there know when the train is coming, and they retract their produce and their wares. And it's a great opportunity for picture taking as well. Very interesting, and an opportunity for you to truly experience local life when you're in Thailand. Of course, outside of Bangkok and even within Bangkok, there are many opportunities for soft adventure, like bike riding through the coconut plantations. It's definitely something that you can do. Or making the beautiful fresh flower garlands. You can do that in Thailand, either at the local markets, or it can be arranged at your hotels as well. And that's one of the special touches of hospitality that Thailand is so well known for. And these beautiful garlands, to see how they're made very quickly but very intricate, is truly special, and definitely something that you will want to purchase and use for the day, very often given as the welcome at the hotels as well. Muay Thai is very popular, and if any of you wanted to do a Muay Thai boxing class or go to one of the matches, definitely something that's popular. Kone, which is our traditional art form, is definitely something that you can partake and experience. It's very interesting. It tells a great story through the centuries. The costumes are so intricately done, and all hand done, truly spectacular as well. Many of these costumes are actually sewn on to the bodies of these artists, and in order for them to come off, they actually have to clip them off. So it's done so every night. So it's a great experience. I think anyone who comes to Thailand is going to partake in shopping, and this is the Chatuchak market. That's acres and acres and acres of stalls. If it is made in the world, it is purchasable there. And definitely, Laurie, make sure that you give your guests some time for shopping. The night markets are very popular in Thailand. Going by tuk-tuk, partaking is definitely something that you want to experience. Street food is another great local experience in Thailand, and definitely something I highly recommend if you're in Thailand that you experience. It is vibrant, it is fresh, it is flowing. I always say, always make sure that you're getting good recommendations on good street food, because if you have a sensitive stomach, it's something that you want to be cautious about. But from street food to amazing Michelin star restaurants and everything in between, every conceivable cuisine that you can imagine is available to you in Thailand. So always remember that it's a great local experience, from a culinary perspective, that you can have when you're in Thailand. There are many emerging destinations that neighbor Bangkok. For example, Hua Hin. Hua Hin is about 3 hours driving to the coast from Bangkok. Many people who don't have the opportunity to go down south to the beaches take advantage of a beach in Hua Hin. I will be upfront and I will tell you it's not typical of the beaches that we know in that area, but it's definitely a visit for if you're into health and wellness. It's a great destination for that. many other local experiences that you can have in that area as well. As I mentioned, yoga is very important. Meditation is also very important, and very many of the spas and the hotels in that area will offer very specialized practices that you can take advantage of. So if you're big on wellness, you definitely want to consider somewhere like Hua Hin. Thai massage is definitely something that you want to take, and I'm sure Laurie will incorporate that. It's a great destination for golfing if you're into golfing as well. Great golf courses all over and very affordable. And it's a great destination also if you're into wines. A lot of people don't know that Thailand has a growing wine industry. And if you want to sample some of these wines, Hua Hin is definitely a great place to take advantage of that. Even if you're staying in Bangkok, there are many hotels that will offer day trips to Hua Hin's to go to some of the vineyards there. And the wines, I have to say, are quite good and growing. And of course, again, wellness in terms of culinary is definitely something that many of the hotels in that area will make sure that they're incorporating the fruit and vegetables, fresh fruit and vegetables into the itineraries, and making sure that if you are into strict vegan eating, etc., that it's possible to have that when you're in Thailand and to watch your calorie counts as well. So if we're moving on a little bit further to Kanchanaburi. Kanchanaburi is about 3 hours outside of Bangkok as well. It's a great destination for soft adventure like whitewater rafting or kayaking along many of the rivers in Thailand. The bridge over the River Kwai is definitely a popular attraction in that area as well. And if you are into history, you will know about the bridge over the River Kwai. Great for photography as well. And it's a great stop if you wanted to take advantage of some of the soft adventure activities within and around Bangkok because you didn't have time to go any further. So moving along to the south, and I will start with Krabi, which is a beach destination. A lot of people think that Krabi is an island. It is not. It is along the mainland, but on the coast. So it's about an hour's flight south of Bangkok, but there are international carriers such as Qatar that fly directly into Krabi, but it is seasonal. It's definitely a great beach destination. Many of the out islands and the activities that you can do from Phuket are also available from Krabi. The difference between the two is that Krabi is a lot more intimate, the hotels are a lot smaller, and the crowds are less in that area as well. So there are many other local experiences that you can do in that area. You will notice when you go to Thailand, particularly when you're in the south, the huge differences in tides. So when the tide is out like this picture, it is great for picture taking and for walking. The mangroves are also very big attractions in that area and make for interesting finds when you're in that area. Rock climbing is also very popular in Krabi along Raleigh Beach or Raleigh Bay. And you don't have to be an experienced rock climber to take advantage of this. Definitely, again, a local experience once in a lifetime that you can take advantage of when you're in Thailand. So great for picture taking as well. The beach at the bottom is Raleigh Bay, as I mentioned, and there's some really great hotels in that area as well. Many of the out islands, as I mentioned, that are available from Phuket are also available from Krabi as well. And the Panga area, which is pictured here, is truly special for kayaking and other soft adventure activities that you may want to take advantage of. Street food is a little bit different in Krabi because it's served along the beach, and these Muslim ladies are great at cooking up some great Thai food and other food, so you can take advantage of that again. Again, when you're in Thailand, it's about the local experiences and local culture that you can take advantage of. So if we're moving along, of course, to Phuket, which many of you may have heard of before, it's the largest island in all of the islands in Thailand. An hour's flight from Bangkok. And of course, if you did not want to go through Bangkok, you can fly directly into Phuket from many of the international gateways that surround Thailand. It's a beach destination, so it's great for everything related to the beach, kayaking, snorkeling, etc. It's all available through Phuket. And of course, great, beautiful white sand beaches. Our water is warm all year round, turquoise blue, safe to swim in. You don't have a problem with that. There are many beautiful lagoons, out islands that you can take excursions to, and I'm sure Laurie will incorporate those into your itineraries. Beautiful, intimate islands that you can also take advantage of as well. and a great destination also for families. So for those of you who have friends who may be wondering, is Thailand great for families? It definitely is a great destination for families. A lot of people tend to miss Old Phuket, which is the original capital of Phuket. And great because it's transforming, and a lot of beautiful art, coffee shops, wine shops are available there. Great Thai restaurants like Blue Elephant, which is a Michelin star cooking school that you can take advantage of as well. It's a great destination for just rest and relaxation, laying there in that hammock after all that we've been through and just relaxing and reflecting on life. Beautiful sunsets in that area. So if you're into photography, you will have a plethora of great sunsets to take pictures of. As I mentioned before, it's a great destination for rest and relaxation as well. And as I mentioned earlier, all throughout Thailand and in Phuket as well, great night markets for shopping as well. And some of the emerging destinations that you can access from Phuket would be Yanoi. Yanoi is about 30 to 40 minutes by boat to Phuket. And Yanoi is a beautiful island. And I apologize for this noise. So I'm working from home and my son is trying to come into the room. So if that disturbs, I'm sorry. Yanoi, as I mentioned, very intimate, very personal, very private, about a 40-minute boat ride from Phuket. And if you want to be away from the crowds, to be somewhere a little bit more intimate, more relaxed, definitely you want to consider Yanoi. These are some of the panoramic views that you can find from the island of Yanoi. And beautiful vistas overlooking the Panga Bay from the Six Senses, which is one of the beautiful resorts on that island as well. It's great for snorkeling as well, and beautiful vistas, as I mentioned, from many of the resorts. Great sunsets, and many of the hotels will offer movies at night under the stars. So we're moving into the Gulf of Thailand. As I mentioned before, in our summer period here in the United States, if you're going to Thailand and you want to take advantage of beautiful weather, then you would consider destinations in the Gulf of Thailand, like Koh Samui and Koh Phangan. So Koh Samui is one of these islands. I find Koh Samui almost reminds me of islands in the Caribbean, because it's a lot smaller, a lot more intimate, a lot more flat, which are typical of the islands in the Caribbean. And there are many great local experiences that you can have. Going to the marine reserves are definitely something that we highly recommend that you do to enjoy the beaches and the beautiful turquoise waters in the area. As I mentioned before, beautiful beaches. Great out islands that you can do from Koh Samui as well. So it's definitely something that you would want to consider. The culinary experience in Koh Samui is truly spectacular as well. Molecular gastronomy is very popular in Samui, particularly at the Six Senses, which is pictured here as well. Cooking classes, I'm sure Laurie will make sure that a cooking class is incorporated into your itinerary, so you can come back after learning some really simple but delicious Thai recipes. And a lot of the hotels are also offering Muay Thai boxing classes. If you're interested in the sport or you just want to do some exercise while you're there, it's a great activity for that as well. Koh Phangan is about 45 minutes from Samui, and it's a beautiful, intimate island, beautiful beaches, very popular among honeymooners, and great for excellent snorkeling and diving in that area as well. A lot of people will want to know, well, what is Thailand or the tourism authority doing on the back end of COVID and the pandemic? And already I can tell you that we're introducing the amazing Thailand Safety and Health Administration, which is like a certification for hotels to make sure that we're proving to everyone who is visiting that their safety, your safety is very important, and all the regulations that the government is putting in place to make sure that everything is properly sanitized, etc., is being incorporated into the certification process. And we will roll out a lot more, and we will share the details of that with Laurie so that you are able to understand what it is that we're doing as a country to make sure that when you're visiting Thailand, that you will continue to be safe. Sustainability is also another very important push of ours, and many of the hotels, even before that, were making sure that they were no longer using plastic straws and any sort of plastics. They were taking those out of the equation. They were using a lot more organic products and working more closely with local farmers to make sure that much of the food that we were using in our hotels and other service industries were organically grown and supporting the local communities. So sustainability will become even more of a big push here, and we're very happy and very proud about that as well. Maya Bay, which is a very popular attraction in the south of Thailand, about an hour's boat ride from Phuket, has been closed and will be closed for a few more years, and that is because of rejuvenation of the area and making sure that the area has an opportunity to breathe, because it was receiving quite a few tourists every day, and we wanted to make sure that we preserve those areas for future generations and for future visitors as well. So that attraction will remain closed for quite a few years. We're also very proud to let you know that many of our DMC partners, and Laurie will work with them, are incorporating into the mix refill stations. So when you're out and about in Bangkok, for example, you have these water bottles that are given by the DMCs, and there are specific areas within and around Phuket that you can stop and refill your bottles with fresh, clean water, so that you don't have to go in and buy a bottled water with plastic, etc. So we're making sure that we're taking those initiatives, and we're very proud of those initiatives as well. I want to thank you for your time, and if you have any questions at all, I'll be very happy to answer them at this time.
Hey Steve, it is Donna, and we do have quite a few questions for you.
Sure, shoot away.
So Lisa wants to know, what time of year is your favorite period in Thailand and why?
Well, for me personally, I like from the last part of November all through towards probably the beginning of April is my personal favorite time of year to visit. Why? Because I find the temperature is a few degrees cooler, but more importantly, the humidity is a few degrees lower as well, and it just makes being outdoors, etc., a lot more comfortable. It is also great all throughout Thailand, whether you're in the south or whether you're in the north. It is a great time of year to visit because the rain tends to be less at that time.
Okay, guys, just so that you know, I'm going to go through all of the questions in the Q&A first, and then those that have posted questions in the Zoom chat, I will do those. The second one is from Catherine, and she said, can a special visit be arranged to spend on a spiritual visit and meditation with Buddhist monks, a period of silence?
Absolutely. There are areas in Thailand where you could go, and if you wanted to just go and be with the monks, be within that environment and go through a routine of waking up every morning and doing the same routine that the monks do and engaging with the monks and doing classes, etc. There are opportunities for that as well. And if you're interested, you can always contact Laurie, and then Laurie can contact us and we can share that information. But there are areas in Thailand and resorts in Thailand that cater to that.
Okay. Can Singapore wine be purchased in the States?
Can what, sorry?
Can Singapore wine be purchased in the States?
Singapore wine?
Yeah, that's what she wrote. So I guess what she meant, like Thailand wine, can we purchase it in the United States?
Oh, not at the moment, no.
Okay. Can you take a boat from, this is from Marcia, sorry, Bangkok. Can you take a boat from Bangkok to Phuket?
No.
Okay.
You can take a train or you can drive, but considering that, you want to maximize your time in Thailand, the easiest way to do it is to fly. It's only 1 hour and it's the quickest way to go.
And Juanita wants to know, why are costumes sewn on?
Why are what, sorry?
Why are the costumes sewn on?
It's traditionally how they are done. and they have never changed it. So before every cone performance, there are people there to sew the artists into their costumes. So it's just making sure that the traditional art form is maintained. And these costumes have to be so close to your body. They're really very tight.
Okay. So then Beverly wanted to know, can you actually get close enough to the elephants to pet them?
You can get as close as you want to the elephants. So you can touch them, you can hug them, you can even ride them if you wanted, you could walk with them. If you didn't want to touch them, you don't have to as well, but you definitely can get up close and personal with the elephants.
Brenda wanted to know, is it safe to eat the street food?
I would say yes, generally, but always go on the recommendation of either Lori, who is leading your group, or your group leader, or you can ask the concierge at your hotel for recommendations on street food areas that are safe.
Okay. There was another one. All right, forgive me, Steve, if I don't say it correctly.
Yeah.
Kumasamine, is that a national park? Is that where you can spend days with the elephants? And then I had another part to this question.
Kumasa, I'm not familiar with that area. Maybe can you?
Koh Samui. It's Koh Samui.
Koh Samui. Okay.
Koh Samui.
All right, Koh Samui. Is that a national park? Is that where you can spend days with the elephants? Are any of the hotels we may use practicing sustainability? That's what Brenda wants to know.
Well, two things. Koh Samui is an island, and it is not a national park. The Antong Marine National Park is a marine national park, so it's off Koh Samui. You are able to interact with the elephants on Koh Samui. However, to be very honest, my favorite place to interact with elephants is in the north, in either Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai.
Okay, we have people that have their hands raised, Lori, so can you see if you can get that on your end? And then Gloria said, what is the time difference between Thailand and the States?
Right now, we're 12 hours behind. So Thailand is 12 hours ahead of us. So it's 1:45 p.m. here, so it's 1:45 a.m. there. When we change back times, then it goes to 11 hours.
Okay. Brenda wants to know, can you scroll through the photos again while we're doing the Q&A?
Okay. And then for the folks that have raised their hands, if you could put your questions in a Q&A box, that's where we can track them best in the Q&A box. Yeah. I can see people raise their hand, but I don't know what question they have. These photos make me want to go back.
Come back as soon as you can. Come and
I've
visit
never
us.
been. Okay, I've never been to Thailand and I want to go now. So.
Oh, that's great.
So Sandy says, how long is the flight? So I guess it's going to depend on where we're coming from. If we're coming from New York, so let's say if you're leaving from New York, Lori, to Thailand, how long is the flight?
I think we flew, the last time we flew from New York to Hong Kong, that was like 12 or 16 hours. I can't remember. It's a long flight. We flew New York, Hong Kong, then Hong Kong to Bangkok. So that's how we went before. So Steve, do you have any other?
I would say door to door, typically from New York, it's between 24 and 26 hours door to door.
Yeah.
The flight from, let's just say you're flying over Hong Kong, the flight from JFK to Hong Kong is between 14 and 15 hours. Then you have a layover. If you have lounge access, you can access your lounge, have a shower, etc. And then typically you continue for another 2.5 hour flight into Bangkok, if that's where your first point of visit is.
Right. And it's a long flight, but I've gotten so used to the long flight that it's great. And we've flown some very great airlines. Last time, I think both times I've gone, I've flown Cathay. The service was great, the food was good, the movies, and so by the time you watch a couple of movies and eat, walk around the plane a couple of times, you're there. So don't let the flying time be a hindrance at all, because it's definitely worth it. Yes.
Okay, Steve, can you tell us where Elephant Hills is at? Is that in
Elephant
California?
Elephant Hills is in the Khao Sok National Park, and that's in the south. So you can fly directly into Suratani, which is about an hour south of Bangkok, and then you would go by overland and then by boat to Elephant Hills, which is in the Khao Sok National Park.
Okay, and Beverly wants to know, how good are the medical facilities in Thailand? And then Juanita wants to know qualifications to become a monk.
The medical facilities in Thailand are rated top-notch. We have over 15 JCI accredited hospitals. JCI is an accreditation that's given to international hospitals. So technically, when a hospital is accredited as a JCI, it means that it's on par with a Johns Hopkins hospital here in the United States. And we have over 15 of them. And whether you're in Bangkok, obviously there are many in Bangkok, but they're also spread throughout the country, like in Phuket, in Chiang Mai, etc. So if, God forbid, you were to ever become ill when you are in Thailand, there are excellent medical facilities that can nurse you back to health.
Okay.
And what was the other question? I'm sorry?
It's qualifications to become a monk. And then also the second part of her question is, what is your favorite part of Thailand and favorite thing to do?
Okay, well, the qualification to become a monk is you have to be male, and you have to be willing to become, to become a monk. I don't think that there's anything more than that.
Okay.
It has to be something that comes from within, that you want to do. In fact, many Thai men will become a monk for a short period of time within their lifespan as a mark of respect, or to provide good karma to their parents. So my colleague in the office a few years ago, he became a monk for like 3 weeks to give respect to his parents and to allow his parents good karma in their other life. So that is one way that a Thai male can become a monk. There are some who get married. For example, we have a very good work colleague, and he owns a business in Thailand, and he went off into the monkhood. He's married with kids, has a business. He went off into the monkhood for about 3 months on his own for a period of time, and that's not the first time that he has done it. There are some who decide that they will become a monk forever, but literally every Thai male has the opportunity to decide that they want to become a monk for a short period of time or for the rest of their lives. The other question, which is my favorite place in Thailand, that's a hard question, because every time I go to somewhere new, it becomes my favorite place. So all of Thailand is my favorite place, and I say so very honestly. I'm not being diplomatic about it.
Okay, and then it was, Brenda wants to know, is the airline similar in quality to Emirates?
Which airline are you? Which
Brenda,
airline are you from?
Brenda, can you be a little bit more, I'm gonna send this one to you, Steve. See if you can see that question.
Yeah, I see British question. I mean, it depends on which airline you take. They're all different. So it depends. But any airline I choose to go would be, a pretty reputable airline when we go. So I would say it would be a good quality, put it that way. Yeah.
I just know that all airlines in Asia, and in particular in Thailand, whether it's an hour flight or a 5-hour flight, there is a meal or several meals. So that's something that you can expect when you're there.
Okay, Brenda wants to know, is there walking space on the long flight, like from JFK to Hong Kong?
Steve, I'll take that. I mean, yes. I mean, usually these flights are these trans-Pacific, transatlantic, these long-haul flights. The planes are large planes. So yes, there will be plenty of space to walk up and down the aisle. So these planes that are flying across the Pacific or the Atlantic are large planes. So yes.
Okay, and then it's like Brenda also wants to know what the primary languages spoken in the majority of cities we would visit. Do Thai people speak English?
Thai people definitely speak English, particularly in the very visited destinations, many of which I mentioned and went through. So Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Krabi, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan. English would be widely spoken. Obviously, they're not going to be as fluent as us who speak English. But, you know, just a simple why or, you know, kindness will open many doors and will answer many questions that you have.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I saw a question. I think it's from Karen. She put it in the chat. She wanted to know if there was a time frame for the trip. Not a specific time frame. I'm planning it for 2021, probably latter in the year. As Steve mentioned, and from my experience, the best time to visit Thailand, my favorite as well, would be from November to early April. That's when we, you know, the weather I find to be favorable. So it would likely be late 2021, early 2022 to catch that great time of year, and also give us some time to see how things are going with COVID, of course. So it won't be earlier in next year, but it'll be the latter part of next year. And then I want to ask a question for Steve. I see another question that came from Sandy was about how was the COVID-19 situation in Thailand. That was one of the questions that was raised here.
Good question. Currently, just like we are on lockdown, Thailand is on lockdown right now. The number of cases are not nearly as high as they are here in the United States. And that may be for a number of reasons, which I don't know. But you know, it's not out of control. The government is very much on top of it, just like they're doing here in terms of quarantine. Many of the hotels are currently closed for obvious reasons. Many of the businesses are closed just like they are here, all in an effort to make sure that we flatten that curve.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. I think I don't see any other questions. Donna, are we done with the questions in the Q&A box?
Yeah, we were done with the questions and the Q&A box. So if anybody has anything else, please. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's got their hand raised. Can you just put your question in the Q&A or put it in the webinar chat for us so we can get that to Steve? Thank you.
Yeah, we can't see. Yeah, you guys can't speak, so put it in there. So Steve, we're getting quite a few compliments on your presentation. And so, yeah, we're getting quite a few compliments. So we're just going to give
Steve, somebody said, would this be, well, Lori or Steve, I guess it's like a double. Would this be a 10-day trip?
minimum. I mean, it depends. I've done a couple of group trips to Thailand, and as you've seen, it's quite a large area to cover. So it would be a minimum, I think, 10-day trip. And then what I've been doing recently is adding optional extensions because, you know, some of you guys still work. So I think some of you can't take off any more than 10 days, and some of you are retired. You have the luxury of time. So the trip that we just did in November was a 10-day trip. And in those 10 days, we covered Bangkok and we covered Phuket. We didn't even get to the north. And then I did a 10-day trip a couple years ago where we just did the north, where we did Bangkok and Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai, and that was 10. So to do the north and the south, you're looking at much longer than a 10-day trip. So what I'm thinking of doing is having a 10-day plus an extension if you want to go, you know, go further south to Phuket, Koh Samui, Koh Tao. And I'm glad Steve talked about Koh Samui and some of the other islands, Krabi, well, not really out, but some of the other places, because most people just hear about Phuket and they just want to go to Phuket, but it's more to see in the South than that. So I haven't actually, I have a outline of the trip in my head, but it hasn't been planned yet. I didn't want to be too premature. But it looks like I got an interest here, and it looks like we got a little group that's going on. So it'll come out over the next couple of months. You'll hear more about the trip.
Okay, there's one more in here, and I think it's more for you, Lori. It says, is the travel of December 2021 off the table at this time?
It's travel December 2020 or 2021?
It says 2021.
No. 2021 is still on the table. So anywhere between if I were to plan this trip, I'm thinking right now anywhere between November 2021 and probably like March, April 2022. So November, so to answer the question, no, 2021 travel is still on. I even have a trip booked for early 2021, not to Thailand, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to travel again. And like Steve mentioned, Steve and I talked before this call, and we had some ideas about going to some places that are a little less crowded. People concerned about crowds and things like that. We can work on that as well. But I'm hoping I can't sit still that long. So 2021 is definitely on the table.
Okay, Steve, there's a question for you.
Yes.
Do you live in Thailand? And Lori, the next question is for you. What is your favorite thing to do, place, etc.? So Steve, go, and then Lori.
No, I don't live in Thailand, but I visit between 3 and 5 times a year.
Okay. And the question for me was, what's my favorite thing to do?
Favorite thing to do, place, etc. So like your favorite thing to do, your place to eat, and all that stuff.
Well, my favorite thing in Thailand is the food. I literally think I'm part Thai. So, I mean, I love Thai food. I love it. I love the street food, which is great. I like it because the variety of different types of food. You have street food that's phenomenal. It's seasoned. I call Thai food Asian soul food because it has so much flavor and spice to it. And I don't like spicy hot food, but I like hot food and Thai hot food because the spices give it flavor, not just heat. And so that's one of the things I love. So I love eating the food, and the people are just the kindest people you will really ever meet. I always have nothing but great experience with the people. And it depends. It's hard to pick a favorite. If you're in the north, I love going to the hill tribes and seeing the people. I need to dig out some of my pictures. I did the elephant camp in the north. I've also done the elephant camp recently in the south, outside of Phuket, and I actually bathed the elephant. I was in the water, like deep. It was actually swimming with the elephant, deep in the water with the elephant. And there are definitely gentle giants. So depending on where you are, they all have great things to do there. Okay. And I did a cooking class as well. So yeah, that's from Linda. We did, I've done cooking classes on each of my trips, actually. We did a cooking class in Phuket, which was amazing. We cooked it and then we ate it. So it was a full day, and the class was actually on the beach. So the backdrop was beautiful. And I've also done a cooking class in Chiang Mai. So cooking classes is definitely one of the things that you will do. And Steve, I did not know there were vineyards.
Yes.
So
yeah, the minute I saw that, Lori, I said, "Oh, Lori's got to plan a trip."
I got to plan a trip. I love wine, and everywhere there's a vineyard, I will try to go. So that'll be added to the trip as well. Okay. So we have a minute. We're at 1:59. Is there one last question? We can try to take it quickly. If not.
Somebody asked about the flight again leaving from New York. Can you talk about that and like what airport you would leave from and how you work all that, Lori? when you're traveling?
So, pretty easily. I mean, if I book all my flights from JFK, sometimes Newark, but you just fly from JFK. Usually there's a layover somewhere in Asia. The flight's about 24 hours, give or take. So I don't think there are any direct flights to Bangkok per se, but we usually fly. The ones I've done, I've always changed in Hong Kong because I've flown Cathay, but you can probably change somewhere else. But usually you fly from New York to Asia and then take another short flight from somewhere in Asia over to Bangkok.
And that's correct, Lori. There are no direct flights from the U.S. To Thailand, so you have to go through a major gateway.
Okay, thank you.
Steve, everybody said thank you so much for an absolutely beautiful, informative presentation. You did an amazing job. You made us all very, very excited and wanting to go to Thailand, including me.
Well, thank you very much, and I wish everybody stay safe and always remember that this too shall pass, and travel will be back, and we look forward to welcoming you very soon into the land of smiles. If you have any questions, in addition to the ones that we'll post, you can always send them to Lori, and if Lori doesn't know, she can reach out to me. But thank you very much for your time. Khop khun mak.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. You were just a gem for us today. Thank you, all the participants, for joining in and for asking your questions. This was the very first Wanderlust Wednesdays, and I think we got off to a great start. Keep in mind that we'll be doing these every Wednesday we're booked to the end of May right now, so I'll start planning June. The next one is for Dubai next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, so be sure to register for that. If you have any questions, you guys know where to reach me. Call me, text me, email me, okay? Stay safe and see you next week. Thanks, Steve.
Laurie, if you have any other colleagues that want to have a similar presentation, feel free to have them reach out to me.
I will.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I'd say thank you to Donna. Donna was a great moderator today.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. Have a good one, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.